everyone in the live chat, in Clowntown's live chat, and in mine. Hello. We are so happy you're here. I hope that you feel the same way by the end of the stream, because we need a content warning before we begin, because Doug and Thea Wood and Optavia and diet culture, and unfortunately also kids talking about everyone in the live chat, in
Oh no, it's
Clowntown's
me.
live chat, and in
Oh
mine.
my God.
Hello. We are so happy
Technical
you're here.
difficulties.
I hope that you feel the same way by the end of the stream. Where's it coming from? We don't know.
Okay, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone.
It's gone. We're good.
It's gone. I was like, God. I was like, is DC God?
While I go tame my own technical difficulties, let Gus and Val introduce themselves. And Gus is going to be here just for a little bit, but I do want y'all to get the exposure to the incredibleness that is Gus and Val, and I will do that, and I'm going to figure my shit out. So here we go.
Do what you gotta do. Shout out to you.
We appreciate you.
This.
Hello.
We appreciate you. Hi guys, I'm Gus.
And I'm Val of the Clown Town.
Okay, so this one is an especially triggering topic for me. I won't really go into it because I don't want to, don't want to cry pretty much. So one, I don't want to cry, and two, I don't want to get so angry that I say something that's going to get me, Val, and now DC kicked off of the interwebs. So, for my sake and the channel's sake as well, I feel it's best to step back. But I'll be on the couch over there doing MLM research. If I really have something I want to say, I will come and say it. I just wanted to say hi to everybody because you guys are really cool, and I appreciate all of your guys' support. If you guys don't follow DC, if you're on our live chat and you don't follow DC, please do that. DC is an amazing creator. So much great information. Honestly, a tech wizard.
Yeah.
Tech wizard.
Wizard for the gods.
Yes.
And if you're like, but she has technical difficulties all the time. Who doesn't when they're live streaming? Why don't you try going live and have no technical difficulties?
that part. That part.
Yes, there's hearts and hype in the chat for Gus, and
Yay.
I love that. There's
you guys.
Yeah, take care of
the
yourself.
love.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Totally feel the love.
Thank you.
We have a calming, raining background because we are going to be listening to the Level Up Conference. If you don't know, this is video 9 in a long and awful series I've been doing, looking into the Level Up Conference. Tish has also been looking into it as well. It was basically a private conference put on by Doug and Thea Wood. They are at the top of their compensation plan in Optavia, which is a diet culture MLM. You didn't think, oh my God, I love it.
Sorry, that took us too long. That took too long. Sorry.
No, it never takes, building a pyramid never will take too long, okay? So we've been listening to John Maxwell twist religion. We've been listening to Doug yell at us because we didn't answer questions fast enough. We've been listening to the expert social media team give us shitty advice. And we've been listening to the manipulation that is in their entire team. There's about 4,000 people in the audience, and an informant sent me all these videos, and I have sent them to anybody who wants them in the creator group, because while this is a hard topic, it's diet culture, it's manipulation, and it's multi-level marketing. I think it's important because this is the type of team that is negatively impacting, in my opinion, and I think in Gus and Val's opinion, lots of people. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely second that.
And we've seen like so many stories of people saying, I've had to go. I mean, not had to go, but you know what I mean? I've had to like fix my metabolism because of this horrible Optavia plan. You know what I mean? It's like you're trying to go into a program to fix your health, and then you end up having potentially more problems than you did before. And it's scary, you know?
Yep.
So that's kind of why we're here, why we want to talk about it, especially if kids are now involved. You know, like, do you want to kind of say what we were talking about a minute ago before you hop off? I can start. And you can kinda,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were just kind of talking about like our grandma was super kind, bless her heart. Never had anything negative to say about us, our bodies, anything about our appearances. Okay. Sweet.
Even when I had an eyebrow piercing and a visible tattoo, lady did not say a word.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She
You
was
know what I mean? And she didn't like that stuff, but she did not say a word, bless her soul. You know what I mean?
She was a sweetheart, okay? But also the way she would talk about herself and her body was really harmful to us, you know? Like, she was smaller than I was, you know? So it was hard for her to say I'm fat. And then we were both like, well, what are we then? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, I can't even imagine being in the position of somebody saying, well, you need to change your weight as a child. You know, and I'm not saying it's the parents' fault. It could be all kinds of different pressures, right? I'm just saying from like a psychological perspective, I can't imagine, you know, because we already have problems just from hearing, you know.
Yeah, just from hearing other people say like, oh, I need to like change this about myself when they are literally like the epitome of what beauty standards like are. You know what I mean? I know beauty standards is like fucking bullshit, but you know, if you're talking about that as far as weight goes, like they were it.
Yeah.
And they were still saying, I have to get skinnier. I am fat. I have to get skinnier. So it's like literally as a kid, like, okay, I'm over 200 pounds now. Hashtag mid-size gang. But, you know, when I was younger, I was skinny. And I didn't realize that until I looked at my fucking baby pictures like a few months ago because I had such bad body dysmorphia that I thought I was fat. And it's just very sad because not only like cuz no, it's just with kids there's so many factors. Like your brain isn't developed, your body isn't developed. It's just not a good idea to mix weight loss and kids unless it's literally medically necessary for like the kids' health, you
Yep.
know?
Yep. And none of the people in this group are doctors. They all call themselves licensed coaches or whatever they call themselves. And it is harmful. And like exactly like Gus was saying, the kids pick up on it, and it's going to be a little bit twisty because we're going to be listening to an intro with small kids when they're asking, and I blurred them, asking them why they love that their parents do Optavia. And as little as like 4 years old, they're going to be talking and stuff. And it is important to know, like, and I think most people in the chat know who have kids. Kids are impressionable. They're going to pick up stuff. They're watching everything, and they're going to pick up things that maybe you didn't intend, but also a lot of this, in my opinion, is intentional. So it's going to get twisty. If this is too much for anybody, hop out. Do not get slimed on a Sunday night. Like, go do something fun, take a bath, read a book, play a video game. You don't need to stay here. It's important, I think, for like to have the video here for others who are stuck in Optavia or who are potentially like wanting to get out, or if they're thinking about joining, because I would never join this team, and I think that this team is sharing things that are harmful for other people. So
Yes. Yes. And I just want to clarify because I'm always like, I gotta add extra. When DC says like it's intentional, we think it's intentional. I'm just gonna speak for both of us. You can clarify if you think I'm wrong. We think it's intentional on the part of like the company overall and from like the top leaders. I don't think if parents are influencing their children like this, I don't think a lot of the time it's intentional. You know what I mean? They're also roped up in the same kind of toxic diet culture, right? So we're not also blaming the, you know, that's just kind of where I'm coming from, you know?
yeah, we don't want to. It is unfortunately a characteristic of influence. If Doug and Tia and the Tinters and the top leaders on this team, Lisa and Jaime Castro, who are Doug and Tia's upline, and you listen to them on day 1 or day 2, and you see how it pushes down to the audience, that the audience is picking up this stuff and then is also sharing that with the kids. No shame at all. I think that's a great point that Val brought up. I think it's just an inevitable, I don't know, consequence of being on this team, being in an organization, an MLM organization where everyone's trying to rank up, to self-develop, to make their leaders proud. And then in the wake of that, or in the destruction of that, who is negatively impacted? I think the kids are. I think the lower to mid-level coaches are. And we've heard other high-level leaders who have left. If you haven't listened to the Unlikely Pastor's Wife podcast, there's an episode where she's talking about how they treated her when she left, and it's awful. And so, yes, more. I absolutely put more weight, more responsibility on the company and on the top leaders. And absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I think we're ready. Thank you, Gus.
Yeah, I'm going to step out. If anyone else needs to step out for the mental, I'd say now is the time because they are about to get down and dirty. And not in a fun way at all. Not in the fun way. I mean, I hope you guys can. I don't know if you can have a goof and a gaff during this. I'm sorry.
Well,
I
will do what we can.
Do what you gotta do.
Kevin Tinter, which is Doug and Thea's #1, yelled at someone in the audience for playing a kazoo. And so I downloaded 6 kazoo soundtracks because I will never watch Kevin Tinter on stage without playing the kazoo at this point because I just cannot. So we're going to have some light moments. We will pause it. And as we try to make our way through this murky mess of Optavia.
The kazoo will enter the chat.
Kazoo. Okay, as I exit, the kazoo enters. The kazoo is in my place. Okay. Wait. What? Was it the kazoo? Oh, I'm so sorry.
There it is.
Oh my god.
Okay, goodbye.
All right, that's my exit song. I'm putting someone in my place, though. Don't worry.
Thank you.
It won't be
Oh my
blank.
god, I love it.
Yeah, I need a chair.
You need a buddy.
So much. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's get this on the board and. Oh wait, here's play. Let me see. This one? Oh, not me. I think that's okay. Is that good for everybody, or is it?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Either one. Yeah, those two are good.
Okay. Or if we can keep someone in frame, but the kids will be okay. No, this won't work.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do. I guess that's okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I know I'm undecisive. I don't know why my personality's like this. This is bigger for the audience. Okay.
You're good. Yeah.
Right.
If you're a Libra, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
So Brody's proof that not everything from Canada's bad, eh?
Oh my god. I'm gonna turn him out.
Just kidding. Hey, real quick, I want to remind you all that for $89,
this is Kevin.
in your booklet, there's
This is Kevin who hates the Jew. So
Boo! I think he's also transphobic too. So me being here is just an extra little treat for little Kevin. How does it feel? How does it feel, Kevin? My pronouns are they, them. Is that a problem? Am I making your rash worse? I'm sorry.
No, I think his head will explode because I don't think that he can handle it. And we love it. We love Val here. Val is the person of honor, and I freaking love it.
Thank you.
Persons of honor, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Person's fine. Yeah.
QR code. If you want the recordings of this entire weekend, I don't know for sure if it includes the ED session or not, but you can get that.
The what?
So it's buried in your book. If you didn't
there's
look
a
at
rank. If this is not the most ironic thing that we have ever seen, they have a rank in Optavia called ED. Which, being in a health and wellness MLM, the fact that one of their ranks, executive director, also lines up with eating disorder, you can't make this stuff up. You can't, wrong thing. You can't make it up. Baby Snark.
Baby Snark was on the wrong button. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yep. Freudian slip, but also it's intentional because they did that on purpose. Marketing team at Optavia, what are you doing with your life?
They really they had to have known. They had to have known. Also, before we get back into it, Sam D did a really good video recently where she compiled a bunch of like TikToks and videos from like dietitians and like people who like know their stuff talking about Optavia and saying like this is trash. And there was one of them that was literally comparing the standards for malnutrition to the Optavia diet. And
oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It's there. You know what I mean? It's bad. It's bad.
I just linked Sam in both of our chats. So
Thank
if you want to click on the Sam D link, you can go and follow and see that video.
Yet you don't know it's there, but it's an incredible opportunity. I'm pretty sure that, I don't know if Ryan can give me a thumbs up on this, but I believe the John Maxwell content is going to be included as well. which is okay. It is. So that is extremely rare. Like
What?
his stuff is copyrighted and protected, and so
Why?
the fact that
Who
he just
cares?
believes in our mission so much that they made that, basically gave us permission to include that as well. So I know just John Maxwell's stuff was so good that it's worth far more than $89.
Really?
But
Everyone at this conference, there's like 4,000 people there. They had to pay like $297 each, which I think comes out to like $1.2 million. And then they make everyone pay for access to watch these videos for $89. Is it a cash grab? Is it a cash grab? Oh my God.
It has. What the heck? That's like going to a restaurant. You're already, you know what I mean, paying for the meals, and then it's like, oh, well, you had to pay to sit here. It's like, what do you mean I had to pay to sit here? I'm already paying for my freaking pasta and my potatoes. Why do I have to? What?
No, you're good. Exactly. It's like what else do we have to buy? What else
Yeah.
can we charge for? It's like, oh
Mhm.
my God. And y'all
Mhm.
keep an eye out for Midsize Blondie's commentary in the chat on the screen. It's I don't want to give too much away, but she knows the inside scoop. I'll just say that.
Mhm.
All right. Play. Where's my play button? Let me get God. All right, let me fix this.
I just want to make sure you're aware of that so you don't miss out on that opportunity. One other little quick announcement. They had to guess how many books to send here. And I know there's different tiers that included free books, awesome resources. And my understanding is that we're already running out of some of those books, okay?
Of course.
We were in communication with Chad ahead of time. He's like, how many do you think we should send? They ship the pallets, and what they don't want to have to do is waste the books or ship them back. So it's kind of our best guesstimate. So the good news is you guys have overperformed our expectations. The bad news is we're running out of books.
Can you pause this for a second? I'm sorry. How are they not prepared? Did they not know how many packages they sold? Did they not keep track? Did they not say we have this many books so we can offer this many? You can't tell people this is what we're offering and then be like, oh, actually, we had to guess how many we were going to send here.
Yeah, and also Doug and Thea and everyone told them to buy the book. So why wouldn't the and I say this as kindly as I can, the people with the most influence at the top of this team's compensation pyramid has said, you need to buy this book. You need to invest in your personal growth. And why wouldn't all of the team who looks up to them fall in line and say, of course we're going to buy the book. And then you need 4,000 copies. So Okay. All right.
And wait, wouldn't that mean that a bunch of them already have it? Or is it like a new book?
It's a new book that John Maxwell has written 88 books. He's working on 14 more. Yes.
I'm sorry. There's no way you can shit out 88 good books.
I don't know. Yeah, and he was shilling his book, or he was having his book pitch during the whole 2 hours that we had to suffer through his speaking. So it's twisty as hell.
Great. Because he didn't get paid enough to be there, probably, No.
Yeah. Even though his speaking fee is $100,000 to $200,000. Yeah.
Sorry, I have to laugh.
And then he's like, oh my gosh, but I give it all away. You give it all away because it's a tax credit. I don't understand. I'm just mad a little bit because it was a twisty session. It was
be mad, please. Be mad. Also, somebody said the audio and the video is a little quiet. Is there any way that we can turn it up a little?
Yes, I
okay,
can.
Cool.
I'm adjusting some things. So here we go.
Is that I could tell
is that better?
That one
Or
of the
I think so. We'll see what the
traits
chat
of a
says.
successful coach is high emotional intelligence. And we've learned that there's some of you struggling in that area when it comes to you owe me a book, but you don't have it. I'm pissed off. All right? We got a lot of young kids that are helping us out. They're not used to dealing with pissed off adults, and I don't think they should have to deal with them at an Optavia event, right? Okay? So.
What?
And I kind of appreciate that he said that, but if there's 4,000 adults acting like douche canoes, I would say, like, what are we talking about? You all say that you're Christian. You all say that you've been transformed by God. Why is that not showing up and being kind to people in the service industry or volunteers? That just makes me crazy.
Right, exactly. I also think, though, he should say, don't take out your anger on those kids who are helping volunteer. Which, wait a minute, why are kids volunteering at this conference in the first place? Why aren't they paying people?
Good question. It's the story of every MLM. What can we get for free? Even
But
though we're going to charge
also,
the hell out of everyone else.
yeah, exactly. But then also, like, why isn't he saying, we're sorry, we screwed up? You know what I mean? He's just saying, you don't have any emotional intelligence. That's why you're mad. I don't think they should be taking it out on the kids, but they're probably mad because they spent all this money to show up to this conference. You know what I mean? They're finally excited to get their book. And then they're like, we're out. You know what I mean? So no, don't get mad at the kids. But I understand why they would be frustrated by not having the materials that they were expecting to be provided when they paid for it. You know what I mean? So be a dick, no. But the anger is not justified like he's trying to act.
Yeah. Yep. Great point. Let me run the disclaimer because I forgot to do that and I don't want YouTube to stop you. So 1 second. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled program. Unfortunately, here's to you, Kevin.
Please understand that if I have to personally buy the book for you, or if Doug does, we will. You'll get your book, okay?
I doubt it.
The organization operates in integrity. We will get it figured out, right? Everything is figure-outable. It just might take us a few days to figure it out, okay? But you'll get what you were promised. I promise you that. And please just use that emotional intelligence. Imagine it's your 12-year-old or 16-year-old out there.
Why is a 12-year-old running your book table at a paid event? Why is your kid doing that? Is that a bad question to ask? What?
That's child labor. I know they're trying to make that legal in some states now. I've seen some bills attempting to be passed, but I didn't, you know what I mean? Oh, Gus is very plushy. Gus, this is too tough of a topic for Gus, but if they can, they will hop in at least maybe at the end to say hi. Oh boy, and I appreciate it. Thank you. I like this little sweater. I'm trying to get my sweater game.
It's so good. Mid-sized Blondie said they would always have Optavia kids handing out registration packets at these smaller events. I have a feeling that they paid their kids and used it as a tax deduction, in my opinion. You don't say. Holy crap.
And when you say they, does that mean the parents are paying the kids, or does that mean they being the organization?
Probably the parents, but maybe Mid-sized Blondie, can you elaborate? Do you think it's the parents or the organization?
No worries if you're not sure. I'm just curious because either way, it's kind of twisted because then the parents can say, "Oh, well, I will keep that money for you," and then they might not. You know what I mean? Same thing, even if the organization gives it to the parents. I mean, that's why there's laws like that for child actors to try to protect their wealth. You know, and that's one of the only industries where child labor is allowed. So,
yeah, yep.
Like it'll change your perspective, okay? So I've been there.
Oh, if you're just joining us, we're about to get into the kids section of the Optavia fluffery going on at this Level Up Conference. This is episode 9. What have you missed? Religious manipulation, fat phobia, eating, and the encouragement of eating disorders, body dysmorphia, shaming of all kinds, lack of emotional intelligence, and hatred of kazoos. So it's just been a wild ride, and I'm trying to add some lighthearted moments because there's not going to be a lot of good moments.
It's bad. Yeah. This guy sucks. And also apparently there's 12-year-olds that are selling books at this conference too. That's what we just found out. So that sounds wrong. And Mid-sized Blondie said that it's the parents who are the top leaders running the event will pay their kids.
Okay.
In her opinion. and
Okay.
allegedly, etc. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and my brother helped my mom's coworkers a few times for an event, and we were always paid for it. Shocking. One, I love that your parents gave a crap about giving you what you earned, and it just seems twisty in the situation from what I've seen of
Where
stuff I
my
redacted.
emotional intelligence disappeared momentarily. My kids have seen it, so I'm not trying to cast judgment on
My
anyone
kids?
that made that mistake.
Yeah, he has.
My kids? So his kids are also running this thing, aren't they? That's
I
what he's
am not sure.
insinuating.
I think he's saying that his kids have seen him lose it, so please
Oh.
follow his instructions of not losing it, because he's not trying to appear perfect. He's just wanting people to not be assholes.
Okay. What I heard was my kids have seen people be assholes, so don't be an asshole. It could have
Yeah.
been either. Not sure. God, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
But if you did, I highly encourage you to go back and apologize. I've done that to some people in the past. And just let's make sure it doesn't happen again, okay? And then we're going to finish up the afternoon. Thanks.
All right. Oh, sorry. I'm boring.
Phoenix, what do you love most about Optavia?
Helping my mom and dad. Well, I love my parents coaching because they get to be home all the time and they get to spend time with me and my other siblings. And I love that they get to help people mentally, physically, and financially. And I just love what they do.
Pause it. Pause. You're telling me that a 6-year-old little kid is talking about being filled spiritually and emotionally?
Yeah. Heavy coaching, in my opinion.
I'm sorry. She was fed that line like,
Yeah.
that's horrible.
And can I say this? If you're in multi-level marketing and you are using your kids to sell your product, please stop. It's your business. It's your company. Stop leveraging your children who cannot give informed consent to move more of the stuff that you signed up to sell.
Yep.
Oh my God. Holy coach testimonials, Batman. Yes, Chelsea.
Yeah. What? There's no way that these little kids are saying this. Absolutely none.
Yep.
Yeah. What kid says that?
Yep.
Maybe
And
me, because I had autism, but most kids did not say shit like that when they were little. Come on. Come on. Oh my God.
There's a little
I love most when you do calls so we can be crazy when you're not looking. The food tastes good and it's healthy.
the food tastes good and it's healthy. The fuelings do not taste good. And why are you giving your kids Optavia fuelings? I'm just wondering.
Just give them real food, first of all, please. Also, why do you have your kids coming on these calls with you?
Yeah.
These are supposed to be your quote unquote business calls. Why do you have to have your kids come on and be crazy with you? That's what the kid said.
Yeah, I have I was the one that redacted all of this. They're children talking. It's not a voiceover, and I'm just trying to protect the children being online. The reason I blurred the entire frame is because I didn't want anybody's bodies as much as possible being online because there's a bunch of creeps on the internet. So
Yes.
that's why it's all I can promise you these are actual children and they're younger than they appear, and it's awful.
Yeah. Also, people are saying, like, the food tastes good. Hannah Alonso begs to differ. We all remember that video because it's bad. It's bad. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Also very happy for her. Good for her.
Yes.
Health coach to make people healthy.
Yeah.
Call people, coach other people so they
Like 2, 3, 4-year-old kids.
Did that girl just say call people?
Yeah. I don't know if that, I think she's saying that she likes that her parents call people. They're a bunch of And I know it's hard to see because I have to look at people's faces when I'm listening to stuff. I know that that's difficult for everybody watching. I just thought it was more important to blur the hell out of them. So,
Yeah.
oh my God.
These poor babies.
Can be healthy. We usually do meetings about health and stuff. Celebration things and trainings. And we traveled the country and met a lot of cool friends.
I enjoyed spending time with them, and
We met a lot of friends that work in the same business.
we really enjoyed being able to spend time with them every day and then not being cramped in an office all the time or whatever they could have done.
What do you like about mommy and daddy being a health coach?
Me helping people be healthy. I like when you're on a call and I can sit in your lap. We get paid money so we can go fun places. Because they tell the truth. Does bring health coaches and helping people.
Yeah.
Because of coaching, I get to be home with this guy, and he doesn't know what it's like to not have his dad home. Hey, yeah, coaching!
Love that.
I like
Love that. My dad works his ass off. My dad works 5 days a week, sometimes 6, sometimes 7. Okay? My dad works his ass off, and I too have never known the feeling of not having a dad at home.
Yeah.
You can still have a regular office job, and you can still have a good relationship with your kids.
Yep. But that doesn't really fall into their sales narrative of why you should be an Optavia coach and hate every other 9 to 5 or
Yeah.
48 hours on, 48 hours off, or whatever rotation you have, or you work 10, 12, 15-hour days and you are doing the most to support your family. You know, that doesn't really Optavia seems to care about making people feel bad about what they're doing so that they want to leave and go to the shiny, happy, fueling side of Optavia.
Yay. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's just gross.
It is gross.
Like, there's ways that you can do it. You know what I mean? Like, some people will take their kids to work if they have to.
Yep.
Like,
That's what my dad did.
Yeah.
When he would take us to work with him when he was trying to get through a big job, and we would help, for what we could. And then we had little air mattresses that we would sleep when it was an overnight or whatever. Like, we were trying to help him out.
Yeah, and with me, my mom went to school when we were both pretty young. So sometimes she would be at school and she would like drop us off at like the office, and it would be like kind of late, and he would like we have like these little carts for the files, and he would like take us both on the files, and we go like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be like horrible and awful. Like, we had fun when we were there, you know what I mean? Like, we made it fun,
Yep, absolutely. And Natalie said, I had a stay-at-home dad and a working mother with a job outside the home. I grew up in Amsterdam. Never felt I missed out on anything. The weekly Monopoly nights where I always won were the best.
And then Victoria says, I have an office job with the hybrid schedule. So I work from home, and my wife and my daughter loves hanging out with me.
Yep. Absolutely.
There's lots of ways that can make it work, And what Amy said, I had a single mom who still made sure that we saw her and had family dinners.
Yeah. Yep.
And sorry, even if like they're not able to be home as often maybe as other parents, like that's not gonna ruin the relationship. You're gonna like most people who have that relationships with their parents look back and say they worked their ass off for me. They cared so much that they worked their ass off for me. And I hope that people who are in that situation now can get better wages and get things that are better for them. But this MLM is not it. No MLM is.
Yep.
Oh, that's
and if someone's coming to you and they're saying my opportunity is incredible and what you're doing is a piece of shit, that is never, in my opinion, an ethical way to sell. Shaming someone else to make your option look better, it's shady as hell. It is shady as hell.
Yeah.
And I love all the stories that y'all are dropping in the chat about your growing up situation. And again, shout out to all the parents working their asses off. And I want work ethic. Yep, absolutely. Oh my God.
Yep. We're in shaming land, per usual.
We hate it here. Oops.
Brownies, butterscotch, brownies. Cut.
I'm gonna mute it for a second. Integrated presidential directors, meaning they're high up on the food chain of
What the heck?
Optavia.
That sounds
I'm-
so fake.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm just muting it
God.
because they use music that I think is gonna slap us. So I'm
Yeah,
trying.
no worries.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Here's the chairs. Here's the
Yep.
fucking chairs.
Yep.
If I could blow those chairs away with my kazoo,
Yep.
I would.
So, the obstacles of growing up in an Optavia family. Well, I'm 41 and I'm 40 days from having my 5th baby. National convention was in July. You do the math.
There have been, not that there's anything wrong with having a healthy, I don't want to slap myself from YouTube life. The amount of jokes that we have heard in this conference, it's too much. It's just too much for me. Like literally every other minute.
We're at a business conference and people have
Yes.
different levels of wanting to hear about that stuff. Some people are like, yes, tee hee, ha ha, I want to joke about it. And some people don't want to hear that stuff. Oh, it's the highest rank. Okay, that sounded like a fake position. Some people don't want to hear about it. So keep it to yourself. And if this is such a business, then why are you making jokes like this all the time? You know?
Yep. Oh my God.
Close. One of the obstacles is parents get to spend time together that they should be spending time together.
Oh my
And
God.
this is sometimes the result. But I'm far more concerned about what the obstacles are if your kids don't grow up in Optavia.
I'm more concerned about what the obstacles are if your kids don't grow up in Optavia. It's Twist City already. I have words. I'm just shocked that she's saying this. It's Twist
Wow.
City.
Wow. Like, leave the kids out of it. They do not need your bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's people in the audience who are still working full time, that they are on the other side of this, and thankfully they haven't gotten sucked into Optavia yet, and they're listening to the highest rank in Optavia talk about why them getting to work together is better than any other situation that they could be, and that's how whatever God made it to be. It's like no,
Yeah.
people are dynamic. The work situation is dynamic for everybody, and why are we shaming people?
There's so much here. Like, she not only said that she and her husband can do the boom boom more because they have an at-home business. Now she's saying that kids need to be growing up in Optavia. Can't they make that decision themselves once they are of a consenting age?
Yeah, but apparently indoctrination works better. I don't know.
Wow.
Yep. Wild.
Wow.
You see, this isn't about me right now, but I want to
Yes, it
introduce
is.
you to little Sam. I'm already little, but younger Sam. You see, I am highly unqualified to be on this stage.
Yeah.
In fact, I've always been a dreamer that quits. I always made good grades and then stopped trying. Tried out for cheerleading, failed once, never tried again. Was the first of 7 children to get into college, quit. I always got really close to greatness and then started doubting myself. And while I loved my parents, and I always do want to honor them, and I learned a lot from them. My mom had 7 babies. I think I learned how to be a good mama.
I'm sorry, and I will say this. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. There's 5 of us. We came from a big family. As someone whose parents did not make them be tiny parents to the kids that they decided to have, saying that that's the position you were put in, I have some feelings about that, because that's not a weight that a kid should have to carry, in my opinion.
No. And also, her saying like, oh, my mom had 7 kids, so she knew how to be a mom. Like, we see people that have like 20 kids that don't know how to take care and protect their children.
Yep. Great point.
We've seen it. So why, you know what I mean? Now she's saying, oh, well, I have 5 kids. I know how to do it. No.
Yep.
You know, like just because you have more kids than other people does not mean that you're a better parent, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't learn how to not give up on my dreams. In fact, I adopted their brokenness, their broken dreams, the failures, and their unwillingness to get back up and try again into my.
Your parents let you grow into a fully functioning human being, and now you're going to shame them in front of 4,000 people because they're the reason that you quit on everything you wanted to do? Really?
Are you freaking kidding me? Here's the thing. These people will never look inward. It's always somebody else. It's always, well, my parents had a bad mindset, so I have a bad mindset. Oh, well, my teachers didn't want to help me, so then I didn't want to, blah, blah. Why can't you just take responsibility for your damn self? Okay?
Yep.
Your parents gave you the resources to go to college, and you quit. They didn't walk in those classes and quit for you. You quit. Take responsibility for yourself. You are pathetic for that. Sorry. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Like, I did not do very well in the very end of college. Did I blame my parents for their broke ass mindset? No, it was my fault. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into college too. There's a lot of stressors. There's a lot of you're trying to manage. You're trying to do a lot of things and figure out how to grow into a human too. If you're going to college earlier and going to college later is incredible too, or even having the opportunity to go at all. I'm not trying to blanketly say stuff, but like her blaming everybody, it's giving Doug Wood. It's giving everything's everybody else's fault and not my own. And
yeah, like Ray Higdon, it's everybody else's fault. You know what I mean? No.
It's giving Brittany Dawn vibes as well because it's just wild.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
My belief system. And so I was willing to try new things, but I was unwilling or unknowing of how to keep going when resistance pushed back.
Wait a minute. Sorry.
So I want you to know.
Sorry.
You're good.
She's saying that happened because she didn't learn that from her parents.
Yep. Indeed, she is saying that.
Your mom had 7 kids. Like, I'm sure that she had to be resilient. You know what I mean? Again, I do not know how her parents were as parents, okay? But if you have 7 kids,
yeah.
Like, you have to be kind of tough. You have to be able to like take some punches. You know what I mean? So for her to just blanketly say, I didn't learn resilience from a woman who had 7 children.
Yeah.
That's pretty
shitty. It's pretty shitty.
Yeah, it is. It is. Because I already saw how hard it was for my mom with 2. You know what I mean? 7 is.
Yeah. And Lindsay, I don't want you to feel like shame for flunking out of college at all. College is hard. It's hard as hell. It's not just the academics. There is the emotional part of it. There's the mental part of it. It's a lot of work, and there's no shade or shame from us.
Yeah.
So I know that's something to work through, but I just want to add that voice to the encouragement that please don't feel ashamed for that.
Yeah. Yeah, like as much as like, yes, take responsibility for also like it's nothing to be ashamed of. Like people have life situations. There's like plenty of reasons why somebody would need to stop doing college. It's like it's okay, you know what I mean? Just take some responsibility, you know what I mean? Like don't just blame it on your parents.
Yep. Yeah, and I know some parents are not good parents, they're not good people. It sounds like she got a lot of things from her own parents, and it is tough to listen to a situation where you had a healthy home and then you come up on stage and rip your parents a new one about how awful it was. It just seems in that situation, if you come from a healthy space, then why are you doing that? And would you say this in front of your parents? That's my question. Would she say this in front of her parents if they were in the audience? Because I kind of feel like she wouldn't.
And a lot of these people, I feel like they talk shit on their parents or they talk shit on their situations because they want to seem like they made it from rags to riches. But the reality is, I think more of these people had better support systems than they want to act like. You know, I'm not saying that as a blanket statement, okay? Everybody goes through stuff, so I'm not saying that nobody went through anything.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, I feel like we'd have examples, you know? Like I have friends who actually went through shit. I have examples, okay? And even some of those parents I don't consider bad people, you know?
Yeah.
So where is it other than them not teaching you resilience, you know?
It's like, how is this so twisty? I don't know. I don't get it. But
Oh man.
the fact that she's going to be leading the kid session with, I think, her husband is just, it's twisty. It gets twisty.
And we already know what she thinks. She thinks that every kid needs to be an Optavia because she's more scared for the future for them without Optavia.
Yep.
So we already know what the line of questioning is going to be. We know there's not going to be anything negative that's going to be allowed to be talked about from these kids, you know?
Yep. And we know that whatever mindset she's learned in Optavia, she thinks is a necessary one to pass on to their kids. And I don't agree with that perspective at all. Oh my God.
But two things from that. One, if I can do it, you can do it. I think there's a disclaimer for that.
Yeah, what is it? You want to say it? You want to read the income disclosure statement? What's the fucking disclaimer? You can't just say, "Oh, I think there's a disclaimer for that." Girl, what is it?
Yeah. Yep. And they certainly didn't do it on post-production because it's just
Your foundation is the ability for your kids to dream and know they can. And I know that's a hard and painful truth.
It's not a truth. You know how many kids are resilient and they have overcome, and not every kid gets to because socioeconomic constraints and prejudices and things that are built in to keep people down. Some are insurmountable, and some kids are able to because it's. I don't know how they do it, but they can. Kids are resilient. Should they have to be when they are exposed to things like this? They shouldn't have to be, but they certainly are.
No. And this is putting so much extra pressure on those parents when they're already probably trying to do everything that they can. But now hearing this lady say the foundation you give them is going to be the success for their future, like that's not necessarily true in every case. You know what I mean? Like my parents helped me a lot, but like a lot of the directions that I went in my life were just kind of random. You know what I mean? They didn't happen because they laid that foundation for me. I'm not saying that for everything. Absolutely not. But like, it's not true for everything, you know, and it's not a truth. Yeah.
Yep. And yes, condescension coming through the screen right now from her. Absolutely.
Totally.
But gosh, I don't know if I didn't have so many kids, I don't know that I would be standing up here today.
What?
What
does that mean?
What? We might need to listen to it some more, but I can't believe she just said that.
What does that mean?
I guess we need another content warning because if she's about to talk about maybe her not living, just
my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Because I know what it's like to give up on myself, but I looked at them and I couldn't give up on them.
You realize that people who unalive, they're not giving up on their kids. That's not what happened. They were desperate and they made a rash decision. Okay? They did not give up on them.
Yep. And I am wondering, like, should kids have to carry that burden of knowing that they are the reason or feel like they're the reason that their parent is alive right now? Because and I say no. I say no.
No. And I don't think that kids should have to, because I'm sure that the kids are backstage listening to this.
Yeah.
I don't think kids should have to hear stuff like this. You know, I think that we should have conversations about things like that to try to be productive and to try to prepare them You know, I'm not saying that we can't have those kind of hard conversations, but that was, she said it in a very adult way. There was absolutely no softness, no, you know what I mean, no communication to children. She was talking to adults that she was trying to manipulate. Why are their kids hearing this?
Yeah, and should kids have to carry that burden? Because kids are, while they're still developing, they take a lot of responsibility. They think a lot of things are their fault, like with parents separating or with lots of other things happening. Because their minds are still developing, it's not a bad thing. It's just a limited perspective. And so when you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm the only reason that's keeping my mom alive right now. Holy shit, the burden.
Yeah.
Guys, I know this is a lot in live chat and replay crew. If you need to pop out, pop
Take care of
out.
yourself.
Take care of yourself.
It's good.
It's
I feel
her
like every
husband.
time I come on stage, there should be a disclaimer that says, it's your choice to be offended.
Oh,
No shit, Sherlock. Oh my God. Wait, no. First of all, kind of. It's my choice to do anything about it, okay? But not necessarily. People can get triggered by things, and that's not their choice. So yes and no. Fuck you, okay? You're
Well,
gonna
no-
sit here and tell me that I can't say anything because it's gonna be my choice.
Yeah. People who say that seem to forget the responsibility that they have for saying stuff that purposely and I'm
Yeah.
not saying, again, we've said this all stream. It's not a blanket statement for every situation. But when I say, if anything I've said has hurt you, I genuinely am sorry. And if you can tell me not oh, you need to tell me exactly, but I know that Val and Gus I have had conversations. I'm learning some stuff, but genuinely, I can say things that are intentional or unintentional that hurt other people, and I don't want to do that. And from his perspective, it's like, well, sucks for you for having weak emotions, and
Yeah.
bye, and it's like, no.
But I'm sure that he would get upset if he saw this video. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that he would never want to use the logic, oh, well, it's my decision to be offended. No, it's different. It's different for him. It's rules for thee, but not for me. And that's why I get so upset. I would just love it if for once these people could be consistent. You know what I mean? Did it annoy me that my mom gets so mad at me for smoking the ganja sometimes? A little bit. But is she a hypocrite about it? No. The woman's never even tried it. The woman hardly even drinks alcohol. The woman was not, you know what I mean? Like, she was never a hypocrite about it. So I could never be that mad at her. I was like, okay, fine, mom. Like, that's like, I just want to deal with some people that have some principles that apply through everything. You know what I mean?
Who are consistent, who have some kind of logic that makes sense. So the guy who put on this conference is the guy from Chelsea's video. So the one that Chelsea just did for Optavia, that's Doug and Thea. They are the ones that put on this conference. And if you watch Chelsea's video, you kind of get a vibe. But if you watch this conference, because it's behind closed doors, it's twisty. It's very twisty.
Mm-hmm.
All right, play.
How many of you want your kids to have average grades?
It doesn't
get an
matter.
Average job.
It doesn't matter.
Marry an average spouse. Make average income.
Oh my God.
Holy.
Who the fuck cares, first of all? Second of all, what is your definition of average?
I don't know, because apparently, and when we listen to people like him talk, we know that the type of atmosphere that the team on Kevin and Becca Tinter and under Jaime and Lisa Castro, it's just, you don't want to be average. You don't want to make a medium amount of money and be content to be able to pay for all of your housing needs and food and medical care, because that's just below par. Sir, what sir? I want my kids to be productive members of society. maybe kind human beings, maybe not nice to people, maybe respectful. I'm just
Like, maybe I want happiness for them and good health, and you know what I mean? Like, I understand, like, in some senses, like, yes, I want my kids to be able to have a good income so they can take care of themselves. But he's not saying he wants them to be able to take care of themselves. He says, you don't want average for them, you want great. And that means different things to different people, and they're always going to keep pushing the box. Like, on the Unlikely Pastor's Wife podcast, she was saying there were people that were making like $6,000 in Optavia, and they were telling them, well, you're going to get too comfortable. You need to make more. You need to keep pushing. You need to make more. And so that's what this is becoming. Average is anything that's not beyond what you have now.
Yep. Also the audio, him being quiet, they didn't do any post-production on the sound for their conference, so it's just gonna, if it's low, I know I have captions going on my channel right now, so you should just be able to turn those on and read what he's saying. So I'm sorry, he's all the way up on my end, so I'm sorry. Sorry everybody.
Yeah. Also, just average spouse? Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? You know what I mean? Is that anybody that isn't in the organization? Is that just somebody that you don't like? Is that somebody that's not rich? Is that somebody that's not pretty enough or skinny enough by your standards? Like, what does that mean?
Probably a combination of all that. Probably, and apparently they have all these perspectives about who you should be with, you know, and it's, or that you have to be with someone, because that's obviously seems to be on the forefront as well.
Yeah, that's true. Like, not everybody wants to even be with somebody. Not everybody wants to be married. Not everybody wants to be married. How would they feel about somebody of the same sex, or somebody who's non-binary or gender fluid, or somebody who is aromantic and doesn't want to have a partner, or somebody who's asexual and kind of has like different relationships with different, like, what? How would you feel then? Would that be it's not average, but you wouldn't like it, would you?
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
Have average experiences, have a bunch of average kids, and live an average life.
No kid is average.
On the contrary, all of you actually have the proclivity to profess upon your kids to do the exact opposite. You want abundance for them.
Profess? What does he mean? Speak something over them so that they don't end up like what he wants them to be? I'm not getting all the churchy references, so I'm
You tell them
confused.
No, I'm not understanding what the profession means. Yeah, I just hate that he's like, you want them to have a bunch of average kids? Dude, those would be your grandkids. And if you don't love them for how the fuck they are, then go fuck yourself. You don't deserve to be a grandparent.
Yeah. Yep.
That's just how I feel.
They could be anything that they desire to be, as big, dream big. The interesting thing is, in their young little eyes, all their senses are really, really superb. And their vision's better than their hearing.
Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
I know that some kids are blind, right?
I think they forgot. They seem to forget that at every opportunity, in every, like, they mention stuff, John Maxwell mentioned stuff, and it's like, do you not understand like the range of the human experience and like the limitations some people have? I just don't. What?
Like, some kids don't have all of their senses. You know what I mean? Like, I could not smell. I still can't. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things I can't smell. You know what I mean? My sense of smell was not heightened as a child. I was like, my mom would be like, oh, smell this flower. And I would pretend to smell it and say that it was yummy because that's what I saw everybody else do. And I had to confess to her I couldn't fucking smell anything.
Yeah. Yep. And that's that experience too, you're trying to, you know, that maybe whatever you're experiencing is not maybe the expectation. And if you take that situation with this in Optavia, the kids are aware of the expectations of their parents. And they're going to do and say things, even if that's maybe not their natural inclination, or maybe it is a little bit scary at first, to be honest, and say like, I can't smell that, or that doesn't smell like anything to me. And it's just, kids are impressionable, and that's not a bad thing. And it's it's twisty here. Oh
And
my
now then,
God.
what if they're average at sports? You know what I mean? What if they try out for choir and they're just like kind of average? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're gonna feel like balls. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying something that you're average at, even if you're not good at it. That's okay. Enjoy it anyway. But these fuckers are gonna make you feel like you have to be Mariah Carey to join the choir. No.
Yep. Yeah.
So you say all of that and what they can become, but they look at you and they say, what happened? Why is that? And some of you will say, it's because it's the cards I was dealt in life, Harold. You don't understand.
Yeah. Asshole.
That literally is a meaningful thing to mention, my guy. They don't believe that. They don't believe in social determinants of health. They don't believe in things that keep people down. They probably don't know what a food desert is. They probably have no idea about I don't know, prejudice or anything like that. It's awful.
They probably don't even understand how much less people make in other countries in comparison to the United States. They probably just think that people want to come to the United States to like take their jobs, when in reality they can only make $2 an hour and they need help.
Yep.
Like sometimes it is the cards you're dealt, asshole. You know what I mean? Sometimes the cards you're dealt is that you're in too much pain to work enough to make the money for yourself.
Yep. Or you're in chronic pain and it's written down as poor job performance because you're barely able to function and show up, or not show up as well too. And so you don't get promoted to get to a pay rate that you can actually get decent care. It's a whole twisty thing.
Yeah.
God.
There's so many things that you could say. It's just the card you were dealt. I hope that you can get better, and I hope that there's resources that are available to you so that you can improve your situation. But just saying like, he's gonna throw it off in a second, you know?
Yep. And Jessica is also dropping some of the definitions. So food desert, an urban area in which it is difficult to buy affordable or good quality fresh food.
Yes.
So.
And Autumn Calabrese probably wouldn't know about that either, which is what I
Yeah.
said in our last video. Like, girl, like, why would she talk about that from her mansion in Calabasas with the stone marble countertops and her swimming pools and her jacuzzi, whatever the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, why would she want to talk about a food desert? You know?
She's also made wild claims that she wasn't able to access good food when she went to Missouri, or whenever she went to the Beachbody conference or whatever it was. And people who live there are like, what are you talking about, Autumn? Like, we have vegetables here. She was like, there's no vegetables wherever she was going to.
She said that when she went to the Dominican Republic as well, when she hiked in Pico Duarte. She was like, there weren't any vegetables there, and like we looked it up, and it's like they do have vegetables. They have potatoes, they have tomatoes, they have bell peppers, they have onions, like they have cabbage, which is the only thing that she mentioned, but she said it's not a vegetable, so whatever. Like
It's just it's hard to listen to, because you're like, that's literally not an accurate representation of reality. And then because you have influence in a platform, you're going to make it seem to other people like the area you're visiting isn't necessarily a good place to visit, and it is. And it's just oh my God.
And that screws up the local economies.
It does. It absolutely does. Yep. It absolutely does.
And I'll say, Regina Brett said, if we were all to throw our problems in the middle of the room and we were all able to see them, we'd all be quick to run and get our problems back. So it's not a hand that you were dealt problem. It's that you tolerate that hand that you were dealt problem.
Oh, fuck off. No, that's not true either.
funny how a group of I don't know, people who don't look like they have any health issues, who don't have any limitations on walking or speaking, that they are saying that all their problems are actually superficial and all this other stuff. And it's like there's people whose life is incredibly hard because of the hand they were dealt with. They were dealt.
Mhm. Yeah. And other people having worse problems does not negate your problems.
Yep.
Like, my chronic pain being so awful and terrible is not made any less horrible because other people are in more pain or other people need more help. Like, I used to kind of think like, well, it could be worse. And it's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't freaking suck. You're in pain 24/7. That's not cool.
Yeah.
You know? So that's not a good way to frame it either. Like, okay, and it could always be worse. That doesn't mean it doesn't suck right now.
Yep.
It's limiting belief. You see, you've allowed the sins of other people before you to put these limiting beliefs on you.
You've let the sins of other people before you to put the limiting beliefs on you. My dude. What?
Like, my chronic pain is not a limiting belief. I can only physically stay awake for so many hours.
Yeah.
I can only do so much. It's like sins?
Yeah. And again, we've seen this come up earlier in the conference, but they believe that a mental health struggle or some kind of physical limitation is your fault. It's somehow your fault because of the way you're eating, of the way that you're moving, the way that you believe that you see the world. And that's just not the case. That's just not the case.
No.
Limiting belief bingo. I got bingo.
Bingo!
Oh my God.
What an asshole.
Oh my God.
And you allowed them to write your story. I was in Texas last year at a non-Optavia event, and I got a $5,000 front row fold-out chair with a pretty seat cover on top of it. But I was front stage, and I'm listening to Ed Milet look me in the...
Oh my God, not Ed Milet. Oh my God.
Is that the My Pillow?
No, he is Jessie Lee Ward's mentor. He's the one that she paid like $400,000 to be in his training and stuff, and he was helping her design her podcast studio. He's a big coach for MLM people. So he's twisty if you ever look into him, but you have to be in a good mental space to listen to him because he's awful.
Yeah, I might need to say that one for later because this is already enough. This is already enough. Wow.
Yes.
The eyes felt like he was looking in my soul, and some other great speakers. But there was this guy that I had heard 10 years ago who's probably responsible for, or at least the catalyst for my personal development. One of the most phenomenal motivational speakers ever to live. His name's Eric Thompson. You might know him as E.T. the hip-hop preacher.
What?
Wonderful guy.
The what?
Well, he was on stage and he's talking
about the hip-hop preacher? I'm sorry, I just need to look this up real quick.
Let me make sure. Let me...
I'm going to link him for you. Eric Thomas, PhD.
Oh
boy. Okay. I'm going to link him for you in the chat.
He's got books. He's got books. The Secret to Success. Greatness is upon you. Average skill, phenomenal will. The Grind. You ain't the boss of me. The Secret to Success. Oh yeah, he has multiple books. Wow. Okay. All right.
Name dropping, and we have no idea who he's talking about.
Yeah, we love that.
He's been or had the honor and the privilege to travel around the globe to all these countries that are suppressed from opportunity. And now he's ever able to...
All of these countries that are suppressed from opportunities.
Oh, and what those are limiting beliefs too, right?
Oh my God. Oh shit.
But I thought it was just our limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
There. And he talked about how 2/3 of the entire globe live off of $3.50 a day. And he said that's why when immigrants come to this country, they crush it. And they look at all of us swimming in mediocrity like, what is wrong with you? You're so comfortable living average.
No, that's not what the fuck they say. Are you kidding me?
I don't think that they think about people negatively like that, honestly.
No.
Every immigrant that I've met has been a kind and lovely person, and
Yeah.
they're hardworking
Sure.
because most people are hardworking too. So I don't know. This is twisty.
Yeah.
It's like
It
one
is.
thing after the other. It's hard to be like, oh my God, not another thing.
Yeah. I don't know how he can like acknowledge the struggle of immigrants in this country, but he's not going to acknowledge like other similar struggles. And there's probably people in the audience who are immigrants too, and he's going to say that they have limiting beliefs.
Yep. And it was this conference that the president of Optavia was talking about targeting the Hispanic community because they were basically a target, like ripe market for the picking. That's what he said in this conference.
Well,
Oh.
they can go fuck themselves.
But what he
with the
said
mariachi
that
band.
Yes.
really resonated with me is he leaned in and he felt like he was looking at me. He's at the end of the stage and he's like this. That's how he's down. He's ready. And he's looking at me and he says, if you live in this country, it is your duty and obligation to become extremely successful and wealthy. It's your duty if you live in this country.
No. What?
What?
So we're just going to acknowledge systemic racism then? We're just going to acknowledge that?
Yeah, I don't think that he believes in it. That would be my guess, that he doesn't believe in it.
What about if you're unhoused already? They have to be rich too?
Good point. Good point. Yes, I think the chat is raged up. Make sure to take a drink of water because this is gonna get.
It's only getting worse, people. The kids aren't even here yet.
So I'm just going to ask all of you to basically take the pen that you have. Don't allow the sins of others to write your story anymore and impart those limiting beliefs on you. You rewrite the story. You move from the 1.0 version of yourself to the 2.0 version of yourself and write that story. Two totally different people.
Okay, if you're just joining us, these two are some of the top. They're at the top rank in the company. They're they're hyping up the kids panel. They've said awful things about pretty much everything, and everyone in the live chat is I think angry at this point. So
yes.
We're heated.
Yes.
And we haven't even heard the kids yet. So that's about all that's happened.
Oh, also something else. We're doing a video that's coming out soon with a behind the scenes Q&A with Doug, where he was talking about wanting more Hispanic people in the community because, Mexican Americans are really struggling in this country and they need help, right? His exact words. I was like, wonder how this guy feels about Trump. I looked at who he's following, the whole Trump family on Instagram. So
twisty.
Yeah, he really cares, doesn't he?
Yeah. Is this the guy with the highlighter shoes? It's the different guy. I know they all look similar. This is different. This is a different guy. He's married to the lady. Well, if you just got here, you haven't seen his wife who's pregnant.
I looked at Sam when she was talking about this speech and
Kazoo
said, how many times
we needed it.
Do us leaders have to come on stage and tell you people how great you are?
Shut up!
Like you have such greatness in you.
Did you hear that? How many times do we leaders have to come up here and tell you how amazing you are?
I don't know. Maybe a good leader actually lifts their team up and doesn't shame the crap out of them and actually helps them do stuff. But that's part of being a leader is like speaking I say speaking life into it, but creating a safe environment for people to feel like they can work and you answer their questions and you're also the supporting foundation and that you're also a protector too, because you're the one that's going to stand in between them and an enraged customer or whatever. Or I don't know. It's just they are like, how many times do I have to say this? They're like tired of it. And it's like, you have to do it for the rest of your life, my guy.
Yeah,
Literally,
get
you have
used to it.
Get
Get
used
used
to
to
it.
it.
I guarantee you 99% of you, I shared this at Awaken, are smarter than me. I promise you. I leave the 1% for Dan Valentine. I think I got a little edge on you.
Poor Dan.
But I'm serious. You have
Dan Valentine is on the Optavia team, but I don't know who he is. I don't know if Midnight Blondie can give some insight into that.
so much greatness inside of you. And I've probably said this 100 times, so I'll say it 101.
Oh
because
boy.
I heard it and it really resonated with me. But all of you have royalty pulsating through your blood and your veins.
What?
You have the King of Kings running through your blood, and it's time that you receive it and step into it and take courageous, decisive action and stop living a life of mediocrity.
I'm sorry. I don't think that any multi-level marketing company is a calling from the person that you believe is a deity. I just don't.
No.
And then people who are sitting in the audience are listening to him saying yes, because they're probably Christian. And they're saying, yes, this is my calling. I'm going to tighten my grasp on this opportunity even harder. And they're going to get sucked further and further in.
Exactly. And it's like, from my understanding of the Christian theology, God and the promise of the cross and everything, that did not promise you good things in this life. It did not promise you wealth and riches and, you know what I mean? It promised you life after death and forgiveness. That was the whole point. That was the whole gag, okay? So why is he sitting here saying that? Because you are a son of God, you are meant for greatness. Wouldn't that be true of everybody on this planet?
Yeah. But he definitely doesn't believe that. He thinks that that's only him and his believer circle, I'm guessing.
Nice.
Yep. And this is false gospel, 100%, no doubt about it. As a Christian, this is not okay. And I love that the people who believe in the chat are like, this is shit. This is not right. And I hope that the more people who do believe, they start to feel the courage to stand up and say like, this is wrong. This is wrong, and we shouldn't do that. And you don't have to believe to take a stand either. But I'm glad I see ethical Christians in the chat who are saying this is wrong.
Yep.
Oh, God.
So wrong.
So what are we going to leave our kids with? Are we going to leave them
eating
with
disorders,
full emotional and financial bank accounts? Dreaming of a life that they know they can accomplish? Because we're all dreamers, but we have to equip them with the knowing. And with that, we don't want you to just take our words for it. We want you to hear from the mouth of babes, the ones that grew up in Optavia because of their parents' sacrifices, because of their investment. And we want you to hear from them how your kids can win when you win.
So a big round of applause.
It's like this is blurred. Oh my God, I gotta mute it. Okay.
No.
Blurred.
Oh my God. I'm gonna cry. No.
It's not all gonna be blurred like this. I think it's gonna. There we go.
Oh my God. Do we know how old they are? Are they gonna say?
They are between their ages of 14 and I think one of the kids is 19 or 20. Some people from Optavia messaged me last night and were telling me about the ages, but some of them are young. And I say 13's young to me. 14's young.
That's way too young. That is way. I'm really gonna try not to cry. Might need extra water and a break, because boy.
Yes.
Like, there's nothing wrong with crying. I do not want to. I do not want to right now. Oh
Yes.
my
No, I
god.
get that.
Oh.
Midsize Bonnie, I'll send you a link of the unredacted one because I redacted everybody, but I didn't blur their names because they didn't give last names. So I'm sure you'll know who they are because you were friends with all these people before. Oops.
All right,
Look at
Dylan.
this.
Cue fart sound. Go.
Sorry, guys.
Go. I told you I'd get it for you.
I had nothing to do with that.
All right. So,
Like,
Miss
why make him do that in
Caitlin
front of people?
first.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm sorry. Maybe he was into it, but if I was a 14-year-old in front of 4,000 people, I would not want to make a fart sound.
Yep.
This is
What
like,
in the cult is happening here? We
this
don't know.
is so culty right here.
Yep. It's strategic and culty and twisty.
What's your biggest blessing from growing up in this entire Optavia world?
What's your biggest blessing in growing up in your in this entire Optavia world? What?
Do these kids even understand? Oh
I
my god,
don't
this
know.
girl sounds young. Nope.
Yeah. I mean, they're young. They're not like under 10, but they're still very young.
Oh my god. I was hoping they'd be at least 16.
I think one of them is 16. I think Dylan is 14 or 13. So
Nah, this company's gonna go to hell. All those fuckers, good luck. Good luck, Charlie.
yeah.
This is disgusting.
I just think seeing my parents just show up every day, and it wasn't easy. I mean, it was like a lot of late nights sitting in the car, them finishing up a Zoom, but I just believe that God has all called us to something big, and for some of you guys it's health coaching, and for me it's dance. And them thriving in what they do with speaking on stage and doing everything amazing that they do with selling clothes and books and everything. I can work hard at what I love, and they've equipped me with all the steps that I have, and I can go out and do that at dance.
Because of what my parents do in Optavia, I get to do what I like to do, which is dance. And so she is well aware that the reason that she gets to dance is because her parents do Optavia. And I'm sure that point has been driven home by the parents.
Yep. Also, the Zooms in the car.
I cannot.
Leave your kids out of it. Why are they in the car with you?
Yep.
And like, what happened to the time freedom, you know?
Yeah, apparently there is none. It's a trap. It's location freedom, and apparently everyone's going to be suffering with you on the Zoom call.
So I'm just fully blessed with what they do through Optavia, and I also get to go on trips and go see my friends on spring break and go on amazing summer trips to Europe, and it's just a big blessing to be where I am and have my parents do what they do. Thank you.
Love it.
Wow.
Selling clothes and books. Oh, I know whose child this is. Good Lord.
That was interesting because, like, books and clothes, how, you know?
Beautiful.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
Yes. And watching your parents
Family dream.
Yes.
Right.
And
I don't know why
watching
this
your
thing's
parents
blur.
contend for you.
Let me figure this out. Hold on. I'm gonna make it small real quick, and then I'll play it past.
Stream for our kids, literally in real time.
Also, just saying, like,
Miss Allie.
the fact that their parents really drilled in, like, God, this is God's calling for our family.
Yep.
This is a blessing. This is God's blessing for us. This is God's calling. Like,
Yep.
What if it's not?
Yeah. And but again, it's that burden too of saying the only reason you get to go on this trip is because of Optavia. The only reason you get to see your friends on spring break is because of Optavia. The only reason that you get to live a good life is because Optavia. So you better be okay with the late Zoom calls, the car Zoom calls, all this other stuff. And by the way, you need to speak on stage so that you can inspire all the other parents so that they can do this with their kids too.
Yeah. And like, what if she was like, no, I'm scared of public speaking? Are they going to take her out of dance?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm actually not going to let you go to your friend's house if you don't do this. I can see that happening 100%.
Yeah. Yep.
Fuck.
How's watching your parents go after and achieve their dreams helped you achieve or set goals for your future? And how did they include you along the way?
Yeah, so I'm Allie, and when my parents started Optavia, they also owned a cleaning company, and at one of the cleaning jobs, my mom brought home a cork board, and she sat us all down, and we created our family dream board. And we couldn't all write or read, so we drew pictures of these family dreams. We drew pictures of a family trip to Disney World, a bigger house so my sister didn't have to sleep in the laundry room, and a baby blue onesie for a baby brother. God ended up giving us 2 more sisters. My parents were working really hard in that time. My dad was mostly only there to tuck us in, and my mom was working way more than she was before when we were full focus. They made sure that we started taking responsibility. I mean, they had 4 kids, 6 and under, and we just had way more responsibility than all our friends and family.
Yeah, I want to be careful that we're not critiquing her because this is a child and she was instructed. And I say this, I'm going to be clear. I'm not trying to belittle the teenagers who watch my channel. From a legal standpoint, being under 18 to me as a kid, they don't get to vote yet. They haven't graduated from high school yet. They're still under the authority of their parents. They don't get a choice. And so I don't want to critique her reading a script that she was instructed to do by her parents. So I just want to
If that's the vibe, it's like, dang, it sounds like she's reading off of a script, not like, oh, she's reading off of a script. You know what I mean? Sometimes it can come off different on the text, but like, just to be clear, we're not gonna go there. If it sounds like it's scripted, it's probably because it is, but that's not her fault, you know?
That's her parents' fault, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because they said, Optavia is a family business. We are all working together, so you have responsibilities too to build these dreams.
Pause it.
The great thing was that when they reached
No.
I just cannot.
No! This is not your responsibility. You are a child, a CHILD child. You should not feel the burden of having to help your parents yet. Okay? You help them around the house and stuff like that. You take care of your sisters a little bit, not in like the way of being a parent, right? No.
To put the burden on the kids like this is wild to listen to.
It's disgusting.
And if you're a parent, if you're a parent in the chat, like let us know like what your perspective about that is, because I'm coming at this from being a kid perspective and having decent parents who didn't put this weight on us. So let us know in the chat if you maybe think differently, if you agree.
Yeah.
New goal or hit a new rank, we knew we worked hard with them and they rewarded us. When they splurged on backpacks or got us ice cream, we knew that we helped, and they would say, we are only able to do this because we have all worked so hard with Optavia. We've done most of these dreams yet. I mean, we have not gone on a island hopping in the Caribbean. But I've learned if I clearly know what I want and can dream a dream and give up some things for a little while and work really hard, I can really earn any dream God puts in my heart.
Wow.
Any dream that God puts in my heart.
And this is supposed to be good.
How twisty is this for the kids? I don't, and all the parents sitting down recording this talk.
How is this kid ever gonna freaking leave Optavia?
Probably never. And that's a sad situation. God. Hey, sweet goth, what's up?
Hello.
If you just got here, this is the kids session, and we have blurred them out, and it's twisty. So if it's too much, make sure to hop out of the chat. Good night, Sean. Have a good night's sleep, bud.
Good night. Yes, I agree with Dave. She has a nice like speaking voice. She has a good inflection. Like she sounds a little nervous, but obviously she's like a kid, you know what I mean? Like I think she wants to do public speaking at some point she could, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Katrina said, I was a child who is parentified, and I'm still messed up from it at 30 years old. My son is 5, and I'll be damned if I ever put any sort of parental pressure on him. Absolutely never. I hate this.
Yeah. It's not, she says, well, we have responsibilities. We have to help. That was not, no, you're a child. There's only so much that you should be subjected to as a child. No, this is not okay.
Yep.
Yes.
You're listening to 4,000 people clap for them as they finish their speeches. And it's going to solidify this idea that they're really helping their parents, that they did a good thing. And again, they're in and I would never expect any kid to be able to stand up to people like Doug and Tia and the Tinters and these people because of how much influence they have. And as that child parent relationship, if the parent has misused their authority, I would never put any blame on any of these kids. So it's just twisty.
And especially like the ages that they are, 13 to 16, that is one of the strongest ages where you want validation. You know what I mean? Like obviously validation's always important, but especially when you're in like that weird kind of age where you're kind of going through puberty, middle school, you know what I mean? Validation is so huge to us. And so hearing 4,000 people clap for a 13-year-old, that's gonna mean something. You know what I mean? That's gonna solidify something. So yeah, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. I will be back in a few minutes.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. Keep going though. Keep going.
Okay.
So good. All right, Amaya. So I think we all realize it's not always rainbows and unicorns, right? So what are some of the obstacles that your family faced, and how did y'all navigate that and overcome that and really just flourish as a family?
Yeah, for sure. Hi, guys. I'm Amaya. I think some of the things as us as a family have gone through is the hard conversations we have to have as parents, as my parents had to have with us kids to fully just be who we are today as a family. I think what we as parents
I think she has a purity ring on.
think is we have to choose our kids or we have to choose our work. And what Optavia gives us the ability to do is kind of integrate them together. And what I loved about that is even though it was hard coming home late at night, of course, like my sister said, finishing up late on a Zoom or, just running around chaotically, not knowing what you're going to do, or plans change at a drop of a hat, right? But I think the hard conversations with them truly made what our family is today. And they had the...
Again, I think this kid is trying to do what her parents asked her to do. I think she was instructed and probably talked this over with her mom and her dad, and she's nervous, and she's trying to use the verbiage that her parents told her. I think that we can pick that up with how she's using as parents because of she heard her mom and dad. So I think that that's more of a being nervous, and I think the instruction she got from her parents. So I think that's where that's coming from.
Conversations with us just about just how they're gonna be busy sometimes, and we always joke around us kids how our parents are on our phones, but what we know is they're creating an integrated life for us, an abundant life. And I think the first few years I was old enough to kind of understand and grow up in this, And I think what we realized is we have to be the parent, and we have to, I respect my parents a lot, but I also realize like we are all our own person, and I think what that created is Optavia has given me friendships. They've given me like people to know, and I think what is hard is how sometimes you want to slide away from that as a kid, but with those hard conversations and truly just integrating your work life and your family life and work and play, that's truly how you create an abundant life for you and your family and your kids. So.
Wow. Whew. So good. All right, Dylan. Now, I had so much fun talking to you, and you have so much wisdom. So let's just share with everyone how you have been blessed because your parents chose to build a thriving business.
So sup, I'm Dylan, and there are 3 main blessings that God had gifted our family. So the first one is my family, my mom and dad. If it weren't for them, honestly, I don't know where I'd be, because they gave me a lot more than I think I need. And one thing they get on me about is how I spend my time, but I feel like they do that for a reason. And one thing I was telling myself when I got here is how, even though I'm gonna regret saying this, I think I'll I think I'll find out why eventually. Another thing is my brothers, because although they're annoying, really annoying, they've helped toughen me up, and I think my dad's part of that too, because he's just always been there. And my little sister, lastly, she's probably been the biggest impact as a sibling, because 5 years ago my parents adopted her, and I always wanted a sister, but I never had one. And when that happened, I cried. So, yeah. And then the second principle is God, because going along with my little sister, in February she accepted her God into her heart, which.
I'm sorry, this is hard to listen to. You get adopted into a family where it's believe or else, and you want to be accepted and you don't want to go back to the orphanage or the home that you were in. And so then you're going to decide to be baptized and believe because you have to? Kazoo break. Dylan's the sweetest kid. I'm sad he was put in this situation. I don't put any I'm upset with the parents over doing this.
Which made me really happy. So, yeah.
Nope. I messed up on.
Another thing is
Sorry.
fourth, fifth grade. I don't know why, but I was going back and forth.
I did my best to blur people. I'm sorry. I was hard to listen to this, and then I messed up.
Between some issues, do I really believe God is real? And since I want to go to heaven, does that still mean I get I'll believe in God and stuff? And I think
Since I want to go to heaven.
that my parents helped me through that, because they were always I'll be there if you need to talk and stuff. And then the third one was the environment, because as we all know, Optavia is probably the best environment my parents were placed in. My dad was in my mom joined, my dad was in the law enforcement. I don't remember
no.
anything, but I just remember eventually when I understood how happy they were, because and how happy I was.
Eventually, when I understood how happy they were. Oh.
Was because I could go home and see them every day. And I think that if it weren't for Optavia, I know I wouldn't be different, but I know that a lot of things in our family as as an overall would be different.
I'm sorry. I know people are dropping off the stream because I'm like having a hard time reacting to this. Optavia has zero to do with going to heaven. Oh Lord. I just say this like I don't know if I can say it because I'm upset. I'm just gonna keep playing it.
Stellar.
Can I do it again?
And you were nervous. You can do it again. Nice. Mic drop. He was scared of his parents for that, but I said, I'm responsible. All right.
What I missed? The chat was mad, so I'm sure I missed something.
One of the kids, Dylan, I think he's the youngest one on the stage, and he was talking about he wasn't sure if he was going to go to heaven, and he was glad that his parents were in Optavia because it was the best place that they could have been placed in by God. And you can just tell, like, it just feels super pressury, and like that he is been instructed by his parents to do all this, and that there's a lot of pressure from his dad on him. And I'm just like, holy crap.
That's so sad. That's so sad. You know what I mean? Like, life is already hard enough. The world is already hard enough. You do not need pressure from your parents.
Yeah. And his younger sister, he always wanted a sister, and she was adopted, and he was talking about how she accepted Christ like last year or something.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, girl.
It's twisty
Oh,
because
girl.
if you're in an orphanage or a home, then you get picked. You want to do anything you can to stay with that family. And then if there's and I'm not trying to diss any Christians in the chat, the pressure and the influence to, if you are presenting that to a child and making it seem like if you don't choose this, then, you know,
we're going to send
you're
you
not gonna
back.
be safe. That's twisty, and it should be thought about. It should be thought about how much influence that you're putting on your kids.
Yep. You should be thinking about the kind of threats you're making to them about heaven and hell, or like, if you don't do this, where are you going to go? You know what I mean? Like, stop. They're children. The world is already hard enough. They already see how hard it is to live in a world like this. Cut it the fuck out.
Yeah.
Sabella. So we talk about how people have a tendency to give up. And we asked you, what if we would have given up? And what would life have looked like had we given up?
Hi, everyone. I'm Sabella. Well, got that out. Not so great, to be honest. The first thing that comes to mind is the fact that you would be gone a lot. Like, you'd go to work early in the morning, come home late at night, no dinners, really, anything like that.
What?
I don't know what he was in before, but
Okay. I mean, if he leaves early and then comes back at night, usually there's time for dinner. You know what I mean? Like, with my mom's work, we couldn't have dinner some nights because it was like a night shift.
Yeah.
So she would have to leave before like dinner would be. So we'd have to like spend time like in the day, you know? But it doesn't mean that you don't get to spend time with them. She's making it seem like, oh, well, if you guys weren't here, if you guys weren't in Optavia, we wouldn't be spending time together. That's just not true.
Yeah. And you know, she's listening to the Zoom pitches her parents are doing. That is included in the pitch. And again, it's just twisty. It's just, and having the kids on stage doing this at the request of the adults, the fully functioning adults with the influence and the ability to make the kids' life miserable if they don't fall into line. I don't have respect for the parents. I have no shade for the kids for doing what they need to stay safe in their houses.
Yes. And also what Mid-Sized Blondie said like earlier, like I don't want anybody to think that like this is what Christianity is. You know what I mean? And I agree with that sentiment. Like I've grown up with a lot of Christians that have never felt like this.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not the vibe. It's not okay.
Yep.
You'd always like just be gone, so mom would feel alone and frantic trying to get us off to school and work on time. You guys would always be tired and anxious, maybe even get really angry at us for no reason because we were stressed and we wouldn't know why. Kids don't understand the effect unhealthy finances have on adults' homes and lifestyles. Kids just want happy parents. If you had given up, I would be stuck in a school that wasn't a healthy place for me, and you wouldn't have been able to decide to take me out and homeschool me. Without Optavia, we wouldn't be living in Arizona. I would have never met my best friend, and she makes things much easier. I would have never started a dream.
You could have met her on Discord.
Yeah. I don't think that these type of parents let their kids get on the internet, if that makes sense, because of if you have ever been in more hyper-focused Christian groups and they talk about worldview and a Christian worldview, and they don't want influence, impacting their kids. So they don't let them get on social media. They don't let them understand how to use the internet. It's twisty. And I'm not saying that's the case here. I'm just hearing certain words I've heard in more high control Christian groups that I've been around growing up.
Yes. And what Tanya said, it's none of a child's business the state of the financials of the parents.
Yep.
That is not, maybe once you get to a certain age, like finding out some things, but like it's not, you shouldn't know the state constant, right? Like,
yeah.
That's not your job as a child to understand or to have to take that burden. You were not put into this world to have to feel like a financial burden. That's something that really pissed me off about one of my old high school teachers, is he'd always remind us how much we were a burden, how expensive we were. And it's like, did I choose this? No. Doesn't mean I'm not going to keep trying to live my life, but like, don't make me feel bad for existing. Like, you can let us know, like, yes, maybe you need to be grateful because, like, maybe you don't understand, right? Maybe you don't understand, and so let me give you a bit of perspective, but it didn't feel like that. It just felt like you should feel bad.
Yeah, and most kids will feel bad when they're listening to that, because then they're going to say, well, I'm not going to eat as much food then because I don't want to be expensive on my parents. I don't want to tell my parents when my shoes are too small because I know they cost money and I don't want to be a burden on them. You don't see when people like that say those things, they don't see the dominoes of what happens with kids, because kids will say like, oh my gosh, I love my parents. I would never want to be a burden on them. Most kids don't.
No.
And they don't know how to logically process through that your parents love you, and if they can afford stuff, and a lot of times parents will sacrifice to give the kids what they need. Almost every time a good parent will.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know.
And it's not fair. And good parents understand that that's their responsibility when they have a child. That's just my opinion, right? Like they understand. I'm not going to make my kid feel bad about that because that's not their responsibility. That's not their fault. And you know what? Like when we got older, like we did start having conversations with my parents. Like, you know what? We're not like doing excellent right now. Maybe we need to cut it back on some certain little fun things and stuff. Doesn't mean that we're like doing terrible, but it never felt like, you know what I mean? Like they were trying to make us feel bad. It was just like, we just all have to work a little bit together right now, you know? And that's when we were older. So not okay that she felt like that, because she's clearly like what, 16, 17?
Yeah, I think she's 16. She might be a little bit older, but still very young.
Too young to be having felt like that in the past, allegedly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dreaming, hitting the road, traveling the U.S., becoming an entrepreneur, artist, and Optavia coach. Because you didn't give up, I now see a world full of endless possibilities. I get to experience many things other kids may not get to do, such as rappelling down mountains, jumping off cliffs into a river, and going on hot air balloons rides. Since you didn't give up, our family is now stronger and happier than ever.
Oh. Because you didn't give up, our family is now stronger and happier than ever. What is that going to say to the people in the audience? What is that going to say to the parents in the audience who have been struggling to make Optavia work? Wow, look at the good impact that Optavia has done for these kids, and look how much they recognize how great the opportunity was. We're going to try it. We're going to try to do that.
And I think in particular, her parents probably told her to say, we get to do things that other kids get to do. Because there's probably parents in that audience that cannot afford to take their kids on hot air balloons, that cannot afford to rappel down mountains or whatever the fuck she said. And so now they're going to be thinking, if I just dedicate myself more, if I just don't give up, if I just blah, 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 then my kids are going to get those experiences too. And who doesn't want good things for their kids? You know?
Yeah. Dave said, I made my mom grand cry once because I thought if I didn't eat for a week, she'd be able to pay the electricity bill.
Oh, Dave.
I overheard her on the phone talking about how much food costs with all of us. I'm sorry, Dave.
And she wasn't trying to make you feel that way either. You know what I mean? And that's why you need to be careful when you have these conversations with your kids. Like, you literally overheard that. That wasn't even a direct conversation.
Yep. Good night, Gina.
Good night. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I think we'll probably stop at the kids session, and that's just a couple more minutes, and then we'll wrap up the stream. And
yeah.
Appreciate it. Wow. Yes. Big round of applause. Yeah.
Boo! Yes. Boo! Not the kids, boo! Not the kids, I boo. I'm booing the parents.
We had one rapid fire question, and I'm gonna throw it back at you, Amaya. We've got some tired parents in here. They're feeling weary. They're thinking about giving up.
Oh my God! Do not.
I wonder why.
You're in a broken compensation model, and that you create an ecosystem of eating disorders. No wonder people are feeling broken. Oh my God.
Like, have you looked at your income disclosure statement, lady?
Yeah. Well, at the top, she doesn't have to anymore because she has a huge downline. So.
True.
Yep.
True.
Don't. Your kids are waiting on you. They're waiting on you to keep going. And I know it's hard some days, and I know you've probably been going at it for a few years even, but you're going to get over that hill, and they're waiting on you to step into this abundant life. And maybe you're living in this abundant life, but there's another side waiting for you. And just don't quit, and truly just integrate your kids into your life.
Integrate your kids into your life. Oh my God.
And they will thank you for it, even though it's hard, but they will thank you for it. Don't quit.
Boom.
Woo. There you have it. Got some brave kids. Thank you, guys.
That is so unfair.
Okay, I think that's it. Okay, yeah, that's the end of the session. Flippity flop. I don't even know. I thought like I listened to part of it because I had to redact it, and then I just was like, this is a lot to listen to. And I know some of y'all are saying this is worse than you thought it was going to be. It is worse than I thought it was going to be. And it's worse because of the instruction that they received from their parents to do this. Like, I'm not, and I hope like if any of the kids ever find this video, I hope you understand the influence that you were under by your parents. And I know you probably love your parents and that you wanted to help them. I don't think that your parents should have put that burden on you.
No, that
From
wasn't
a
fair.
perspective, I would say that's not okay. And it's it's a tough conversation because we see the other side, the negative side of this, and we're not trying to critique the kids at all.
Yes.
The influence from the parents on the kids was awful.
Yes. I don't want, if anybody sees, I don't want them to feel like we were making fun of the kids, we were trying to snark at the kids. Like, that was not, that's not, has nothing to do with it. I genuinely think that the parents told them what to say, and they got up there and they said it to the best of their ability. And I don't think that that's fair on them, because I don't think that they would have said those things. I think they probably would have just said, oh, it's nice. Thank you. I don't think they would have said all of that. I really don't.
Yeah. And you have to think about this too. As a kid, you're in a situation, and and if you have good parents, you probably genuinely love your parents, if you have a situation where maybe you don't have a super emotionally healthy home, that there is a fear that something you're going to do is going to interfere with you being able to eat and you being able to have a door on your room or a peaceful place to feel safe in. And so you're going to do what you need to make it as safe for you as possible. You're going to believe the same things your parents believe. You're going to toe the line basically because one, you deserve to be safe. There's no shade or shame on that. I'm saying that from a kid's perspective, to be completely dependent upon someone else, you have to take that into account as a parent, I think.
Yeah, it's important. And it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Those kids should not have had to get up there and say that.
Yeah. It's
And sorry. Yeah, I'm speechless too. That's why I'm struggling. It's just sorry, I remembered what I was going to say and then I missed it.
You're good. It's a lot.
That's what it is. At the very end, she said, integrate your kids. And I think what she means by that is she wants the kids integrated into Optavia because that's what's going to be the best thing for them and for their business and for their family life and for everything. You need work and play and kids and recruiting. It all needs to be integrated into this one seamless life where you do everything at the same time, which is just not how that works, right? I think that's what they're trying to push with that kind of integration. And that's not fair. No kid should have to be integrated into your business. It's not a business.
Yep. And who's going to get paid off that? And to put the burden that if you don't participate in this conference, it's going to negatively impact our business. There's lots of people thinking about quitting. If you don't go up there and speak, then we're not going to be able to motivate them and all this other stuff. Or if you don't let me be on the Zoom right now, I'm not going to be able to recruit people and we're not going to be able to eat or we're not going to be able to take vacation or you're not going to be able to go on spring break to see your friend. It's like, no. You're the independent contractor who signed up with Optavia. Leave everybody else out of it. And Midsize Blondie said this was a lot. Seeing this from the other side is wild and makes me sick.
It's sickening. It really is sickening. They should not be letting children on the screen, on the freaking stage to talk about their experiences with their parents' businesses and a health and wellness program that doesn't work from a lot of people,
Yeah. Yeah. And, I talk about this a little bit on my channel. Like we've touched it a little bit. The child exploitation conversation is very complicated. There's a lot of nuance to it because of the interconnectedness of influence between parents and children. And in this situation, when we see it in MLMs, when parents are using their kids to make the content that they're making more appetizing or more appealing so that people will watch longer, or they'll say, look how happy our family is. Your family can be this happy too if you join our multi-level marketing company. Wouldn't you like to go on vacation? Wouldn't you like to be able to not have to worry about what groceries cost? Wouldn't you like to be able to choose where you live anywhere in the United States? And then the kids get involved and it's like, oh my gosh. And then the audience is saying, wow, their kids look perfect and everyone's healthy and they can afford, to go to the grocery store and have housing and have clothing and their kids get to do extracurricular activities. I want that. I'll try Optavia. Everyone said it tasted great.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope and who's going to protect the kids? I don't know.
And now it's like the kids' dreams are getting involved. They're writing down their dreams on the vision board. And then what if they can't? You know what I mean? Like as a child, putting that out there and not having that be recognized, that's going to be harmful to them. And I'm not saying that that's the parents' fault. I'm just saying they're messing with a lot of people's lives here.
Yeah. And I say this, I know influence comes into play. I know that some experts talk about undue influence. The law hasn't changed on that yet. So I'm going to say the destructive side of influence comes into play in this. And that it's complicated, that there's adults being influenced by Doug and Tia and Lisa and Jaime and Kevin and Becca and
Yeah.
other
And Gina.
leaders, and Gina. And it all is also said, like, yes, you get to take responsibility for your own behavior, and also there's influence involved too. I hope that videos like this help other people wake up, or at least say, like, look, as strongly and as kindly as I can say this is wrong. And I try to be kind in some of my stuff, not everything. I get spicy sometimes, but it's like when you're stuck in the MLM ring, every piece of information that goes against your belief system in that MLM is dangerous, and you don't want to engage with it because you don't want to be told you're in a cult. You don't want to be told that what you've been doing for the past 4 years is taking advantage of other people. You don't want to be told that. So it's like, gosh, I hope that some people are going to be able to watch it and get all the way through and maybe take a second and say, maybe I can pivot or maybe I can leave.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And if you're just like, maybe you're not like a coach, but maybe you're just like buying the product every once in a while because you think you're like supporting a friend or something like that, I would just like recommend as strongly as I can that you stop doing that, because your friend does not make a lot of commission off of your purchases, and it's supporting these people and what they are doing, their ability to make their kids sell John Maxwell books and stuff like that. It's not okay. And so I hope that maybe we are pleased to y'all will make a difference. And if not, we did what we could. We did what we could.
Yep. And Midsize Blondie said, I have to admit, I used my son's diagnosis to propel my business, and I regret it. I've had to forgive myself for doing that because it was disgusting. And when you wake up, because when you're in it, you're told and you see other people doing it. And then there's sometimes a process, a waking up process, and saying, oh my gosh, this isn't okay. And the way that you kind of take responsibility for it, and it's refreshing that you're only saying, like, this was me, this is what I did.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And also one thing to I guess wrap this up, but Val said Val talked about supporting your friend's MLM business. There's power in the consumer muting MLMs. And Julie Anderson talked about this. People did it to R. Kelly, and they really removed his power, or they slowed him down a lot until the courts got involved. And regular consumers like you and me can do that. And when a lot of people say, no, we're muting MLMs because of the broken compensation model, how most people have to lose for some to win, I think it deserves to be muted. And so how do we do that? Stop purchasing from them.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yeah.
This was a tough stream. Kids being exploited is hard to process through and unpack. Live chat, your commentary and your insight and support, and y'all supporting one another in the chat has been incredible.
Yeah. We appreciate it.
Thank you for sticking with us for 2 hours. And replay crew, much non-culty love to you. Thank you for watching this. And if you have someone that you know who may need to watch this to see what's really going on behind the scenes in Optavia, I'd welcome you to share this video with them, because it's important. It's important to try to unpack the deceptive business practices within this company and the deceptive behavior.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us. And I'm going to play the outro in a second, but Val, do you have anything that you want to say? I know I keep talking over you and I feel
No,
bad.
no, you did great. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for setting this all up and for reacting to the whole thing, because I could never. Same to Tish is doing a great job, and to all the other creators who are covering Optavia, amazing. And yeah, I just hope that we can do what we can to not support this company anymore, because I don't want people's livelihoods to be affected. But people's livelihoods are being affected is the issue. And so things need to change. That's what I think.
Yes, they absolutely do. I will make sure to link Tish's videos for Optavia in my description. Clown Town will be linked there. All the creators that I enjoy are going to be in my description as well. Thank you so much for the support, and we will catch you on the next live stream. Okay, goodbye.